The process of making a documentary, we've been locked out.
Yeah, but the light's not working.
Well, why can't we do it at his house?
Because it's all started off with Everybody ready? You ready?
Ready to go.
Cool. Camera rolling. My name is Desiree. I'm the director for this documentary on Dane Diego the Barber. I didn't know DC before this documentary. Jamal actually brought him up because I was struggling on coming up with a topic. So Jamal introduced Dane to me, and at first I was kind of like, oh, okay, like a barber. What can you kind of get out of that? So, I mean, it ended up working out.
At first, I was like, hesitant. I was like, okay, barber, because usually when you try to do, at least in my eyes, when you try to do a documentary about somebody, they gotta like at least have accomplished something. But then when I heard that he actually like cut celebrities' hair, like athletes, like films and TV shows, I was like, okay, this is definitely the person you gotta interview.
When we drove out to Concord for the first time and to meet and to kind of discuss what is gonna go down with this documentary, he was super welcoming. Like the vibe he sets out is super positive. Our very first interview was with Alici in San Francisco, Golden Gate Park.
DC was kind enough to reach out to his contacts and a player from the Raiders.
We're trying to scout for a location to see where to do it because it was pretty windy that day. And we're just like, all right, we'll just do it in the middle of the grass with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. And then, but I mean, a lot of things went wrong that time. The batteries were running super low. Actually, it was pretty freaking dead.
Things started going, wrong left and right. The wireless mics weren't working. They were kind of like having a little like feedback. Zoom recorder was like running out of battery, and like I think it ran out of battery like halfway through the interview. And we didn't have any spare batteries, so that's like an experience that we learned to always carry batteries around.
I just felt really unprofessional around them because it was just like we didn't have anything together, taking kind of too long. And at that time I was like, I had Jamal ask the questions. I kind of felt discouraged because I was like, dang, like I can't even ask the questions. And it was like tough. I was like, at that time I was like, damn, am I even like fit for a director if I couldn't even ask like questions? But I learned a lot from that first interview, and I'm glad that was our first interview.
If that mistake wouldn't have happened, we would have probably learned it on later during the other interviews with like the parents and like the barber himself.
We learned a lot. We did way better the next couple interviews. We had planned to meet in Concord at Headhunters at Dane's Barbershop at 6 a.m.
So the day of, it's the day I don't like to remember. Why are we here so early? Because Desiree wanted to get a specific shot of like the sun rising and Dane Diego opening his barbershop. So yeah, that's why we decided to come here early. As you can see, Jamal just arrived. We don't. What do you mean?
Jamal just got here. Dane Diego I think should be coming soon. Hopefully Desiree gets here before him. But yeah, I got all the equipment in the back too.
Get out of my car. And I'm like, okay, let's get the equipment out of my car so we can like at least be ready by the time DC and Desiree come in. We go out and shoot. I open my trunk, and I only see like the camera, no lenses, no mics, no XLR cables. The first initial thought that popped into my head when I first opened the trunk was, oh shit.
I pull up about like 10 minutes later. They kind of hesitate and something's wrong, and I'm just like, oh, what? And I forgot who mentioned, Jamal, because I guess Jonathan was too afraid.
If I'm being honest, I was mostly nervous about what Desiree was going to say or think.
Jamal's like, he forgot the equipment. And I was like, you're lying. Because they always mess around, and I'm just like, you're hella lying. And it's too early for that shit. So I was just like, oh, shit. I was just like, what the fuck?
So there was like a camera like shop like 15 minutes away from like the barber shop. And like, I was thinking, what if I go out over there and like, rent whatever we were missing, that I left at home. But I didn't have any money. She didn't want to waste any money.
But mind you, it was only like 6 a.m., so they weren't open.
And yeah.
I just told him to go back. And I was just like, fuck it, like, you need to go back.
Quote, quote, get the shit that you left at home. It was terrible. I was like trying to go as fast as I could so that way, save time. But, I had to do what I had to do. I messed up, so I had to own up to it.
We didn't want Dane to just be standing around, or we didn't just want to be sitting around. Shot a couple intro shots or random ideas of Dane because it could probably work in either or's documentary. So, I ended up turning that negative into a positive.
Yeah, I just decided to just say, what, forget what everybody, else tells me, forget what everybody else, says what I can't do. I just decided just to go for it anyway.
I don't know how the lighting is there.
That's true. After that, we went to the NTNL High School in Alameda. At least from what I've heard, that when we go to the school, there would be a nice like little sunset or something, with a drone shot. That would have been perfect. But yeah, that was the thought for the school, the main thought for the school. So the day that we chose to go shoot at the school, Mother Nature did not accommodate well.
Fuck, it's going dumb. It's going dumb, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God, what do I do? Bro, I'm not. Look, it's going by itself. It says returning to you. Where's this going? Where's it going?
I mean, it could have been a soft landing, but
I know. It's okay. It's been through hell already. Maybe I should.
I mean, we could try it.
Well, him and DC aren't gonna be interviewed unless I interview DC in the locker room part, and then him in the office part. Or should I do him right here?
You want to do him here? I mean, I think.
The interview right there because it says like Jets.
It says over there. But I see what you mean.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
The interview with the coach was real interesting.
So the way like Jamal and Jonathan explained the coach's interview, because at that time I was interviewing Dane in the school gym. They were just like, yeah, he wasn't like, he couldn't get anything out. And I was like, oh no, like I think I'll find something in there.
When we asked him, for his name, he answered. Then he was like,
Nick Lloyd.
Hold on, could I try again?
I'm Nick Lloyd. Oh shit.
Yeah, and then just right.
And then we're like, okay, what's your name?
All right, just give you a quick rundown about it. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm Nick Lloyd, born in Oakland, California, raised in Alameda. It's a high school graduate.
Like, sorry, I looked into camera. Can we try again? And I was like, at this point I was thinking, this is the first time I've ever seen somebody ask to try again. Like, like usually in documentaries you could just talk for hours and like, you don't worry about the mess up, just keep on going. But like he always wanted to stop, like, or I think he wanted us to cut, but we just kept on rolling, just you never know. That was a very interesting interview to shoot.
Making a documentary is not easy at all. It's based on a lot of communication and time, location, and commitment. So you have to have your subject and yourself 110% committed to the project, or it'll all go crashing down. Because once you lack communication, it's a wrap. Like, there will be no documentary made. So it's definitely not easy because it's a process. It's going from coming up with the topic and then writing the core concept and kind of thinking, why would the audience want to even see the documentary? So you have to come up with a super good core concept as to why people would want to see it. What I want people to take away from this documentary is that you could go out and do what you love, because Dane had doubts about going into barbering because there was no medical benefits or et cetera, but he ended up pushing himself as hard as he could to reach that goal. And look at him now. He's cutting professional athletes. He's signed with Paramount Studios.
Everybody likes a good underdog coming out on top type of story, and this is definitely one of those.
As I was interviewing Dane, he said a lot of things that were relevant to like what I needed to hear. So I'm hoping that everybody who watches a documentary, both this one and the other one, takes initiative in doing what they actually love to do, because that's a big thing. You only live once. Tomorrow's never promised. Perfect. All right, cool. That's a wrap.
Really good interview questions. I was like, ready to hear some like half-assed questions or something. The shitter is the best place to think. I mean, you got a lot of time to just.
Well, I got these.
Was that before the questions? Hello?
Yes, I was late for this interview again. Like I said. Oh, okay.